So, if you're trying to break into cybersecurity, you've probably been asking yourself, how do you actually practice and gain real world experience? I mean, most of the jobs you apply for these days are going to ask for some level of experience, and that can be hard to build if you're just starting out. So today, I'm going to show you 5 different ways that you can practice and build real world skills that can help you land a job in cybersecurity without breaking the bank. And here's the part most beginners don't realize. When you start out, the way you practice can actually make a difference between just learning new skills and being able to show others that you are actually job ready. I'll show you as we go how that works, but once you see it, it will completely change the way you approach breaking in. All right, let's jump straight into the first way to practice cybersecurity. And this one I really feel is the foundation of everything else. Building a home lab. Now, when I say home lab, don't picture some expensive rack of servers or some NASA looking like setup. It can be simple as using the exact computer you already have. The goal here is to create a safe environment where you can mess around, break stuff, and fix it, hopefully, without worrying about taking down your main system or taking down your home network. The easiest way to get started is with free virtualization tools. Think VirtualBox, Proxmox, or Hyper-V if you're running Windows. These let you run entire virtual machines inside your computer, so you can spin up a fresh Windows or Linux environment in minutes. This is your sandbox. Once you've got that, here are a few practical things that you can do right away. First off is obviously just building and breaking systems. Try installing a Linux distro, misconfigure something on purpose, then troubleshoot it. That trial and error is priceless. Practice networking basics. Set up 2 virtual machines and get them talking to each other. Maybe configure a firewall rule and test simple port scans. This mirrors the basics of real corporate networks. Experiment with security tools. You can safely try out scanners like Nmap or vulnerability scanners on your own local machines with no real legal risks. It's your own little code playground. The best part about this is you don't need to spend money to learn this. There are tons of distros and tools out there that are open source, and the only real requirement is some storage space and your curiosity. The reason this is such a powerful tool is because every piece of theory that you read or YouTube video you watch starts to make sense the moment you try it with your own hands. Books and courses, they can teach you concepts, but a home lab gives you that muscle memory, and that is what employers and interviews test for, the ability to actually do the work, not just recite it. The second way to practice is by getting involved in capture the flag competitions, or even just smaller cybersecurity challenges. If you've never done one before, here's the idea. Instead of studying for a concept in the abstract, a CTF will actually throw you into a puzzle where you've got to analyze, solve problems, and actually apply what you know to uncover the answer, or the flag. It could be anything from decoding a weird piece of text, to investigating a fake web app for vulnerabilities, to analyzing some suspicious network traffic. The great thing about these challenges is they sharpen the exact mindset every cybersecurity role needs: curiosity, persistence, and problem solving. You're training yourself to ask, what looks off here? What happens if I poke a little bit deeper? That habit of thinking differently is what separates someone who just reads or watches videos about cybersecurity from someone who is ready to do it in the field. Another benefit, you don't have to commit to a huge event to get started. There are plenty of short practice puzzles that you can try on your own time, and you can scale up as you gain your confidence. Think of them as workouts for your brain. You don't need to win a competition. You just need to keep showing up and solving a little bit more each time. And here's a pro tip. Don't worry if you feel completely stuck at first. Every person who is good at CTFs today started out in the same way. The trick isn't to get every answer right. It is to build the habit of working through that frustration until you figure it out. And that persistence is the same persistence that real cybersecurity problems demand. One of the easiest ways to actually practice this stuff without spinning up VMs or wrestling with weird configs is a platform called TryHackMe. If you've been around my channel for a minute, you know I'm big on doing, not just watching videos or reading books. TryHackMe is built for that. It's in your browser. You click into a room and boom, you're working through real-world style challenges. You're cracking passwords, exploiting vulnerable boxes, breaking into a bank in a safe, legal, and fun way. The fun stuff that makes these skills actually stick. They've got millions of learners on the platform, and they keep smoothing out the rough edges for beginners. Plus, they just rolled out Echo, their AI learning companion, which basically is a friendly nudge when you get stuck. Explanations, hints, and context so you can keep moving instead of rage quitting at 1 a.m. The timing right now is actually kind of perfect because they are running a limited event called Hack to Win right now through September 10th. Here's how it works. Every time you complete a room, you're entered to randomly draw a bronze, silver, or gold ticket. Collect 10 matching tickets, all bronze, all silver, or all gold, and you're automatically in the running for that tier's prizes. Bronze gets you quality of life boosts, like XP bonuses and streak freezes. Silver steps up with TryHackMe merch and premium subs for up to 6 months. And gold is where things get interesting. Think gaming laptops, Amazon gift cards, Logitech G Pro keyboards, Flipper Zeros, actual gear people in cyber will use. Little pro tip, premium members get 2 tickets per room instead of 1. So the odds are basically doubled while you're getting access to more advanced content. It's a win-win. If you've been meaning to start or you're already learning and just want a nudge to stay consistent, this is a nice push. I'll drop my link down below and you can use the code DAKOTA for 25% off the annual premium plan. Again, Hack to Win ends September 10th. So if you're going to jump in, do it now while the prizes are live. Now, this next one is huge. In all honesty, I think it's the step that most people skip. So you see, if you've been building your skills in your home lab, trying challenges, maybe even diving into platforms like TryHackMe, but how do you actually show anyone what you're doing? That's where documenting your work comes in. It doesn't have to be fancy. Start simple, a blog, maybe a GitHub repository, or even a running journal where you write down what you've tried, what's worked, and what completely broke along the way. Why this matters? It creates a track record where you can point to posts or a repo and say, here's how I solved this web challenge, or here's the network lab that I built. It shows future employers that you didn't just read about cybersecurity. You didn't just watch some YouTube videos. You actually practiced it. You hit obstacles and then you figured them out. That's gold in this field. I know from experience, when I was going for interviews, I talked about my home lab all the time, and it really surprised employers that I was actually willing to go the extra mile. And here's the magic. Documenting your learning process not only helps you remember what you've done, it actually is how you start building some credibility in the industry. You see, months from now, someone could literally stumble across your blog post while researching the exact same problem you may have encountered. And suddenly, you're not just the beginner, you're the person who helped them figure it out. That shifts the way people see your work completely. This is where the effort compounds. The labs, the CTFs, the hands-on training, they build your skills. They build a portfolio for you. But sharing that journey, that's what shows the world that you are actually ready. The last piece of the puzzle is community. Cybersecurity can feel like a solo journey. Just you and your laptop at 2 a.m. But it doesn't have to be that way. When you join a community, you suddenly have people to swap ideas with, compare notes, and get unstuck when you all hit a wall. This could be as simple as hanging out in a Discord server for beginners, joining a professional group on LinkedIn, or taking part in local meetups and capture the flag teams. The benefit isn't just networking, which is huge in this industry, but it is staying motivated because you're surrounded by people who are pushing towards that same goal as you are. And when you share your progress in a group, you'll be surprised how much faster you improve. Someone might point out a resource that you missed, give you feedback on your write-up, or just remind you that you're not crazy when you've been staring at the same error there for the last 3 hours. Personally, I believe in this so much that I've built my own private community where we keep each other accountable, trade resources, and encourage each other through the journey. However you do it, don't skip this step. Skills are important, But having a community behind you, that's what helps you keep going when the grind gets tough. But here's the thing, building skills is only half the journey. The other half is knowing how to actually turn those skills into real opportunities. And that's the critical piece that I break down in this next video, how to showcase what you've learned so people in the industry actually notice. So if you're serious about making cybersecurity more than just a hobby, don't stop here. So check out this next video and see how you can actually turn your passion into your dream career. I'll see you over there.